Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, your Lord of Punishment, Scribe. Say hello.
Hello.
Missing tonight is the Lord of Pennies, and no, it is not because I blew him up last night. We'll talk about that in a second. He is hanging out with his squish tonight. They're having some couple time, and no, not dirty. Don't be dirty, y'all. I am, of course, your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey, and Scribe. How are you tonight?
I am well because I have the sweet, sweet taste of Dr. Pepper.
Made you really should get paid for that.
To drink on him? Yeah, I know, probably.
Yeah, so I blew up Satsu last night. For those of you who missed it, you can check it out on the Twitter machine or over on his 2 Cents Plus channel. I honest to God didn't know I was going to blow him up, but no, guys, he's not mad about that. He'd actually talked to me before the whole blowing him up thing and mentioned that he forgot to tell us yesterday that he might not be here tonight. So he'll be back Monday when we're on his channel.
Let's see. I'm going to check the chat real quick. I think it was, I could be mistaken, but I think it was Mashisu who said the secret word first.
Oh, yes. I forgot we had a secret word.
Secret word. And Ryan Rawlings says, oh, so Scribe is your partner in crime? He helped you shoot an innocent black man?
Yes. He's the one that told me to do it.
Yes. It was totally my $30 that set that in motion.
My favorite part of all of that is because, like I said, I honestly didn't know it was going to kill him. I didn't.
And it's a rocket launcher.
I said to him, how did that kill you? And his response was, you shot me with a fucking rocket. And the way he says it's just awesome. It made it all worth it. And thank you, Cryptic, for donating and making that happen.
Yeah.
Satsu may be back for the game stream tonight. He's watching fireworks, so stay tuned to 2 Cents Plus, guys. If he's not, I will still be in the Arc server playing, and we'll hang out on the Discord. I simply don't have the internet to stream it myself, or I would do so. With that, let's see what's happened today. Little Butt came by for a moment, and I sent her home with a 3-pound bucket of M&Ms. Which her mom will probably eat most of, because my daughter is in exceptionally good shape, and she works out all the time, and she doesn't eat foods that are bad for you except peanut M&Ms.
Well, there's a peanut in there. So there's a peanut in there, so it's
that makes
healthy.
It
healthy.
Yeah. That's protein, right?
Yes, of a kind.
Yes, Dax will be playing Arc tonight. One way or another, we will be in Arc tonight. What is this? I'm getting.
I don't know. What is
picture from? My wife just sent me a picture of the news we broke last night about Marty. I don't need to see that again. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Anything happened for you today, Scribe?
Well, let's see. I got up early, as I want to do. Watched Iron Eagle. Took my notes. Then proceeded to start working on my next video, which is almost done. I'll talk about that at YouTube time. And otherwise played video games and was a lazy bum all day. Did a little grocery shopping. I guess that's about as exciting as it gets. So there you go.
Cool. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Seriously, it really does help us. And Chaos has a new avatar.
I was about to say, Chaos Eve has a different avatar. These are the things we notice. Because things that are unusual to our routine. I'm like, who is that person? Why do they have a wrench? Oh, yes, Eve.
And of course, guys, don't forget to share our stuff far and wide with everyone you know. Write it on the bottom of your shoes and throw your shoes at people.
That's a great insult in the Middle East, specifically Iraq, I think. Throwing
your shoe
at someone.
Yeah. Speaking of Iraq, do we have news today?
Not about Iraq, unless
we'll do it anyway.
So yeah, today, so far as I can tell, is a relatively light news day, but a couple of things jumped out at me that I thought I'd throw out there for the sake of things. CNN is currently headlining with this. Excuse me. Medicare spent $2 billion for one drug as the manufacturer paid doctors millions.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. More than 80% of doctors who filed Medicare claims in 2016 for HP Acthar gel, a drug best known for treating a rare infant seizure disorder, received money or other perks from the drug makers, according to a CNN analysis of publicly identified prescribers. The analysis, which looked at doctors who filed more than 10 Part D claims, found that the drug makers, Mallinckrodt and Questcor, paid 288 prescribers more than $6.5 million for consulting, promotional speaking, and other Arctur-related services between 2013 and 2016. Mallinckrodt purchased Questcor in 2014. At about the same time, Medicare's spending on Actar rose dramatically, more than tenfold over 6 years. Medicare spent nearly $2 billion on Actar from 2011 to 2016, according to the agency's data. The short version of this is the drug used to cost $40 a bottle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went up to $40,000 a bottle.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
So
Inflation's a bitch.
Yeah, over 3 or 4 years. So anyway, they've got this all broken down by how much spending they've done and how much they've paid off prescribers to push this drug and its increased cost, and then bill it back to Medicare for gigantic sums, etc. It goes on for several pages, and it looks like it's quite in depth, quite investigatory. I don't know if any legal thing will happen as a result of it, but yeah, people gaming the system for profit. I guess that never happens.
And the government paying for it. Wow.
And the government paying for it, and the government apparently either not caring or not equipped to catch such things going on, which is always more worrying to me than the actual act itself, because people, given the opportunity, will take advantage of a system that's broken for sure. It's the system and its breakage points that worry me more than the people trying to do it necessarily.
Yeah. We have a birthday. Richard Art has a birthday tomorrow. It's not actually his birthday today, but we don't stream on Sunday. So, Richard Art, are you out there? Are you listening? This one's for you. Happy. Oh, I forgot to count. Wait. We got to start over.
You totally threw me off. You didn't. I was like, what?
I have no excuse. Let's try that again. Richard Art, are you out there? Are you listening? This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Some kind of smart ass remark from Satsu.
Happy birthday, dear Richard Art.
Smart ass remark.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow.
And there's a Satsu in the chat.
Oh, is Satsu here? Hey, what's up, man? He said he might stop by. Apparently, Squishy's not keeping him company. Did she leave you and go hang out with her friends, man? That's what women's do. They leave you and go hang out with their friends. That's why you shouldn't let women have friends, guys.
That's right. Kept women are the best women.
That's right. Thank you, Chaos Eve. Hit that like button like Monkey Smashes Weebo's Grand. That's right.
Hey.
I would tap that ass. So we have expensive drugs for no reason we're paying for. What's next on the docket?
Something I pulled out specifically because you're a football fan.
Oh, sweet. What's up?
New helmet rule could make NFL unrecognizable.
Oh, God. What are they doing now?
It's the 2018 season, December in Carolina, and the Panthers are in the postseason hunt. Okay, this must be talking theoretically. They are playing the division-leading Saints, and quarterback Cam Newton is scrambling. He rushes for 20 yards, and at the end of the play, he, as thousands of runners have done before him throughout the history of football, lowers his head to protect himself as one of the Saints' defensive backs makes the tackle. A flag is thrown. Unnecessary roughness, announces the official. Newton is being penalized for lowering his helmet. That wasn't a penalty back in the 2017 season, but here in the future, it's one that's called all the time, changing the complexion of the sport the way the forward pass once did. Replays show that it was done in a non-aggressive way and that he lowered it only a few inches. But still, the Panthers are flagged 15 yards, knocked out of field goal range, and forced to punt. The Saints go on to win not just the game, but the division, and that play is seen as one of the season's key moments. This isn't science fiction. This is a real possibility of where the NFL's headed. The new helmet rule, announced earlier this year, continues to cause headaches, even though there are currently no games being played, and this is the NFL's dead season. Deadspin and Pro Football Talk both did pieces examining the new rule this week, but it isn't actually getting enough attention from football fans this offseason, except for the nerds like me. That's the author talking, because I'm not a football nerd. That's because the rule will force the NFL to face a level of uncertainty it hasn't seen in decades. No one can say what NFL football will look like next season. Not the players, not the coaches, not the league, not the media, no one. In speaking to players and assistant coaches this week, there's extreme confusion about the rule. Several coaches said they still don't know exactly how it will be officiated. 2 players said the same. But it's not just the fact that they don't understand it that makes it a big deal. It's how much of an impact the rule could have. It's not an exaggeration to say that this is potentially one of the biggest rule changes in the history of the sport. The same league that has spent years trying to figure out what a catch is will now police helmet location in a sport that moves ridiculously fast. The NFL will say there is no confusion and this is all a media creation. It's not. There are teams genuinely in the dark about how this rule will be officiated. The problem is the league itself doesn't seem certain about the rule. As Deadspin pointed out, the NFL's release indicated the rule won't actually appear on its own rule book, but would instead be, quote, classified as unnecessary roughness. The language for that violation was changed from using any part of a player's helmet or face mask to butt, spear, or ram an opponent violently or unnecessarily to using any part of a player's helmet to butt, spear, or ram an opponent. In other words, the NFL removed the words violently or unnecessarily.
Okay, you can stop there. I don't know how much is left. If they want to fix football, and specifically things like concussions, get rid of helmets. Quite seriously, get rid of helmets. You are so much more worried about hitting your own head when there's nothing covering it.
That's true.
The other thing, actually enforce steroid rules. Don't tell me these fucking monstrosities are not juicing, because the human body's not made that way. They don't look normal. They look like freaks, and that's the problem. You're running people full speed at each other with these plastic pieces of shit on their head, which only encourages them to bang them together. No, get rid of them completely, and you'll see a lot less injury.
Let's see. And the only other one I had was, I guess this happened a day or 2 ago, and I think somebody or a couple people might have put it on MSS News, but I'll bring it up now for the sake of things. A white woman allegedly hit a black teen, used racial slurs, and told him to leave a pool. Then she bit a cop.
Before you get into it, Mash, thank you. I have an idea for a rule change. Instead of lowering the helmet to protect yourself, just have the player take a knee.
Then they won't have to worry about headbutting because they won't have a career. A white woman the internet has nicknamed Pool Patrol Paula, was charged with assaulting a black teenager at a community pool in South Carolina. She allegedly shouted racial slurs at the young man and told him he didn't belong there, according to a police report from the Dorchester County Sheriff's Office. Days later, the report said she attacked the officers who came to arrest her, biting one's arm. The 15-year-old victim had been invited to swim in the Summerville, South Carolina pool by a friend, according to the report. The woman, Stephanie Sebi Strempel, likes the alliteration, 38, told him to get out, horror movie, and hit the boy multiple times before threatening to call the police on Saturday. That part was caught on camera. The video was posted to Facebook, where it has since been viewed more than 1 million times. In the video, filmed by the victim, Sebi Strempel aggressively swats at the boy's phone camera and hits him as he and his friends leave the pool area, saying, "How's that feel?" Get out now, she yells. "There's 3 numbers I can dial. 911, okay? Get out, little punks." After Sebi Strempel told them to leave, the victim said they were, quote, respectful and said, "Yes, ma'am," and began to exit the pool, according to the report. He also said that Sebi Strempel used racial slurs and hit him on the chest once and face at least twice. No racial slurs could be heard in the video. The police concluded that Sebi Strempel was, quote, clearly the aggressor in the unprovoked assault. The story doesn't end there. When officers arrived at her home with a warrant for her arrest on Monday, she pushed one detective into a wall, injuring his knees, and bit a second detective on the arm, breaking the skin. Jesus.
Yeah. You know, I don't care if she used racial slurs. Why is she fucking hitting him? Is what's important to me.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
Insane in the membrane? Insane in the brain?
Retarded would be my guess. Apparently, okay, guys, when I start a live stream, it's supposed to automatically tweet out, and for some reason it didn't. I've tweeted it out now. Sorry.
That's because YouTube doesn't like us.
YouTube is bitch.
That's all the stories I had pulled up. I don't know if there's other things going on today, but yeah.
There's the story going around about the little girl who got run over.
I don't know about that one. By all means, depress me.
Actually, I'm not going to. I was just going to let people know. I'm skipping that story. A little immigrant girl, I'm assuming she was, because the woman apparently threatened to call ICE on him, got run over and killed. And nothing is happening to the girl who did it.
Wait. So, okay, what exactly was the details of this? I'm confused.
A mother bent down to tie her shoe, and her daughter was standing there, and a woman backed over her, and it's all caught on tape. It is all caught on tape.
Oh, Jesus.
She's not being prosecuted, and there are rumors that she's related to somebody in the police department there, and that she threatened the mother that if you file a report against me, we'll call ICE on you. That's as much as I know. It's as much as I want to know. And
I've heard stories of that before, where it's just dumb accidents. Like, there's no way, like a little kid is behind the car and the person is just, they're not being negligent. They just have absolutely no idea that there's somebody back there. And then you hear about a little kid getting run over or something, and it's just.
Well, in this case, she didn't stop. She didn't
stop.
She drove away and was stopped later, saying that she didn't know that she didn't even hit anybody.
How do you back up, turn, and take off without seeing? I mean, just the way you'd have to be turning to go somewhere, you'd have to see someone lying on the ground and the person next to them screaming.
I have no idea. I didn't watch the video. I refuse to. Watching a child die is not high up on my.
No. I hate that shit.
But so those of you, if you were looking for that story, that's as much as we're covering of it tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Other news in the world. I swear there was something I wanted to talk about, but I'm not prepared.
Oh, well, you weren't a Boy Scout, apparently.
Just as Illidan said I wouldn't be. Oh, yeah, that's the story. America's oldest veteran, who's 112 years old, an Austin resident. He was robbed of his life savings and his identity.
Right. I think I saw that one somewhere.
Someone is impersonating the oldest man in America. Family members of Richard Overton, the 112-year-old World War II veteran who lives in Austin, learned that his personal bank account had been drained on Friday. Somebody set up a bogus account, got a social security number, and accessed his personal checking account. Yeah, so somebody stole his identity and all of his money. So when people talk about how it's only a misdemeanor than when there's illegals working in the country when they shouldn't be, yeah, they stole somebody's ID, and one of them could have been this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I have. So with that, time for my newscaster voice. Let me put that on.
Okay, you do that.
Guys, if there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to all the stories you send us. You send so many, and we are so appreciative. But we do as the best we can. Scribe?
Thank you, Monkey. Now that I've taken off the Twitter-imposed filter for my searches, I can actually look at what our viewers have sent us. And I can't talk right when I try to do it dramatic. Even though I spent 10 years playing LARP and basically doing impromptu acting on the fly and accents and shit, when I try to do that, apparently I stumble over my own words. Great! That's a happy thing. Anyway, moving on. Okay, this comes from Jack the Motherfucking Cockring. And this is a headline on the opinion section of Cosmopolitan. Now, I never really read Cosmo. I never read it as a kid or anything, or I just saw it on the rack. I thought it was basically like, a woman's lifestyle magazine kind of thing. I also didn't think it was sort of like anything beyond maybe PG level material.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the headline. Big dick energy is over. It's all about cavernous pussy energy now.
I'm sorry. Cavernous pussy energy?
I am quoting it as it is. Big dick energy is over. It's all about cavernous pussy energy now. This is from Cosmo. I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it just to say it. So I'm dying to know what they're talking about.
Before you go on, I'm going to let men and women vote on this. Vote 1 if you'd rather have a big dick, and 2 if you'd rather have a, this is a quote, cavernous pussy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it reminds me of the beginning of Predator. The guy's telling the joke. He says, "Hey, my girlfriend, I went to her the other day and I said, 'Hey, I want a little pussy. I want a little pussy.' And she says, 'I do too. Mine's as big as a house.'"
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, we got one. Skeptox is 3. Sylvanas says 3.
Some of them want both. Okay, I can see that because they're going to go together.
All right.
Oh, Jack says he sent a related quiz to me to find out if I have big dick energy. We'll do that later if I can find it. Okay, yeah.
There we go. All right, so here's the story, as such as it is. No offense, but big dick energy is over, and we're to blame. By the very act of calling out big dick energy, aka the internet's reasoning for how Pete Davidson landed Ariana Grande, we've ruined it, because the whole point of the phenomenon is about the unspoken confidence of huge wieners, or at least having the swagger of one. The first rule of big dick energy is you do not talk about big dick energy. Thankfully, cavernous pussy energy is here to fill the void.
I think they got that backwards.
Big dick energy translates to a quiet confidence. Cavernous pussy energy is even quieter.
Except for the echo.
You did it before I did. It is impressive in its resilience as well as in its don't even try me vibe. What are they talking about?
Well, okay. In their defense, I don't want to try cavernous pussy.
Big dick energy was all about outward-facing confidence. Cavernous pussy energy is about so much more. You not only have the confidence, but you also have the range. What are they talking about? Okay,
I don't think she's using her pussy right.
Okay, you want to have a baseball bat and a garbage can and call that energy, fine. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, but I honestly don't understand what they're talking about. So what is big dick energy? I don't even know what that is to begin with. Is that just it's I have a big dick, therefore... Okay.
Yeah, if you have a big dick, you're going to be naturally more confident.
Okay. Or there was a ex-girlfriend of mine talked about an ex-boyfriend of hers who had like a really big dick, but the problem was it was so big in proportion to the rest of his body that he could never get a full erection.
Oh.
And if it did get close to that, he would start to pass out because of the blood loss to the rest of his body.
Mash, thank you. I myself prefer big anime titty energy. All right.
There you go.
There you go. I just can't imagine. Okay, here's the thing. Even putting aside the psychological aspects of it, I've never heard of a guy who wouldn't want a big dick, and not necessarily going to hurt somebody kind of big, but you know, something you're not ashamed of.
Yeah, in relative terms, sure. Yeah,
I have never in my life heard of a woman who wanted a gigantic gaping hole.
Yeah, and that I haven't either. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe there's some out there. I don't know.
For the record, I used to read Cosmo all the time. I almost subscribed once and instead just kept buying them. I love Cosmo, or at least what it used to be. It was garbage back then too, but the questions that are the advice they ask for is fucking beautiful. The advice they give is fucking moronic. And some of their stories, their sex stories, are dumber than shit, but they are funny. Thank you, Cryptic. If a vagina is cavernous, bring some gear to go spelunking. If it collapses, film the sequel to The Descent. There you go.
The Descent was a great horror movie, by the way. The sequel, not so much, but the first one, that was a great flick. Who's Pete Davidson?
I don't know who Pete Davidson is.
Okay, if Pete Davidson is the poster child for big dick energy, I assume he's a guy with a big dick. Think of Cassie David as the poster child for cavernous pussy, and I don't even know who that is. She's unbothered. Okay. Cassie, Cazzie, last name David, just like a
Cassie
normally.
David. Why is it? Oh, the first thing comes up is Cassie David, and then Cassie David YouTube. Who is she?
She's
Why
unbothered.
do I know her?
She's not hiding on social media, and she's doing her own thing. You know, well, I guess I am hiding on social media. Never mind. The Rock has what? Okay, I'm reading it as it's written because this is a mystery to me. The Rock has cavernous pussy energy. Jason Momoa has cavernous pussy energy. Terry Crews has cavernous pussy energy.
What?
That is the sentence. It continues. Think of cavernous pussy energy as a step above big dick energy. Well, obviously, naturally. The big dick energy is so assumed that you don't even have to focus on it. You have so much confidence you can afford to step off your pedestal for a second because you know you're still better than everyone there. Colin Jost, I have no idea what has big dick energy. Michael Che has cavernous pussy energy. What?
This is some stupid shit.
What are you talking about?
This is dumb as fuck.
Oh my god! I understand this is not necessarily supposed to be taken seriously, but even in your satire or whatever, it has to make some sense. Okay, cavernous pussy energy is notable in its vulnerability. Okay, there is no backlash to having a huge dick. What do you call this?
I don't understand what the point of this all is.
This is backlash to having a huge dick. The concept of cavernous pussy energy is apparently created to combat big dick energy. So, what? But still, uninformed pockets of the world.
Hang on. Okay. Stargazer Nut says, I missed the beginning of this story. I'm so lost. I was here for the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
So was Scribe, and I'm pretty sure we're both lost too.
Okay, it's like a train wreck. I got to keep watching. But still, uninformed pockets of the world, I must be one of them, will still wrongly believe that having a loose vagina is an insult. Well, it's meant to be. I mean, if you use it as an insult, it can be an insult. It doesn't necessarily mean something bad in, temporal reality, but with cavernous pussy energy, you have the swagger to welcome challenges most would be afraid. I can take it. I got the room.
I can't. I know. Okay.
I can't even.
I'm
done.
I'm zoned out because Jesus.
I'm done.
Wow.
I am done.
When your pussy is this big, you can take anything.
Take on the world. It'll fit. What the fuck? Okay.
Jesus, Jack. I both love you and hate you for that one.
That was a winner, Jack Cochran. Let's see. Moving on. What's
Cavernous
this?
pussy. Jesus Christ.
Okay, here's one from Top Ramen Lewis. I think you mentioned this yesterday, but here's some more details. Why people are wearing white to
Yes.
Families Belong Together marches. Okay. The more than 600 Families Belong Together marches happening across the country Saturday are expected to attract thousands of people, including a number of prominent lawmakers and celebrities who are protesting President Donald Trump's immigration policies. And as photos from the protests begin to accumulate, you may have noticed that many of these people are wearing white. Wondering why? According to the march's organizers, white clothing is meant to symbolize peace and unity and to make a strong statement. Quote, the lead partners of this action are calling upon participants to wear white as a striking visual symbol that will also connect attendees in solidarity to each other and channel historic social justice movements unified by one color of clothing. A frequently asked question form for attendees reads, quote, we believe if we can get a significant portion of the crowd to wear white, it will provide a compelling image for the media coverage and to capture the public's imagination, unquote.
Nothing like white unity to sell your message.
I have a helmet. This isn't the first time white clothing has been used as an instrument of social and political protest. Suffragettes, for example, wore white when they, good Christ, Sally sells seashells by the seashore, wore white when they were campaigning for female voting rights, a statement that resurfaced during the 2016 presidential election, which was unnecessary because women already have voting rights. But
anyway. As people have pointed out in the chat, the Klan is known for wearing white too.
You don't say. White bandanas also popped up at New York Fashion Week last year, as part of a business of fashion initiative meant to promote human unity and inclusiveness amidst growing uncertainty and a dangerous narrative peddling division.
They chose white for that. I cannot get over this. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically the story.
Jesus, good God.
How about a Florida man story?
Please.
This one comes from Subcon Jazz.
Oh, before we go further, guys, we are going to be pretty much catching up on this for a while because it's just the two of us. So why not?
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
I want to be Will Smith in that one. Okay. Florida man sent back to jail after not paying for taxi ride home from jail.
Fucker.
Authorities say a Florida man was returned to jail shortly after his release because he couldn't pay the taxi driver that took him home from the jail. Florida Today reports that 40-year-old Charles Folk was arrested Thursday morning and charged with petty theft. Melbourne police say Folk hailed a taxi outside the Brevard County Jail complex in Cocoa shortly after midnight. After traveling 30 miles to his Melbourne home, Folk told the driver that neither his sister nor his roommate could help him pay the $70 fare. The driver called the police. Folk had previously been in jail for criminal mischief. Officials say he had been convicted of ransacking his own home and damaging his roommate's belongings. Folk was being held on $2,000 bail. Jail records didn't list an attorney.
So he went home and tried to borrow money from the guy that got him thrown in jail in the first place?
Yeah. This guy's a winner.
Florida man.
Florida
Jesus. Man. I want to cover a story, and I'm not sure how many people sent this. I imagine a few, but this one that I'm seeing is from Massive Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. Massive. See what you did to me? Man suspected of killing 21 coworkers by poisoning their food, according to authorities.
Yep. That was the next one I was going to do. Go for it.
German police are reviewing the suspicious deaths of 21 engineering workers, dating back nearly 2 decades, after one of their coworkers was allegedly caught on camera trying to poison a colleague's lunch. The authorities launched an investigation after finding quicksilver, lead, and cadmium at the 56-year-old suspect's home following the alleged attempted poisoning at the metal fitting firm in a small northwestern town of Schlossholstein. Duckenbrock.
Nice.
He's only 26 years. Oh my God.
So wait, 26. He's been doing this since he was 16.
Well, hang on. Let me finish reading that. I'm not sure. The 26-year-old colleague, whom authorities have not named, noticed a suspicious unknown. Okay, the person he tried to kill. Okay. A suspicious unknown white powder on his sandwich and reported it to his manager, Achim Ritter. A spokesman for the I should let you read this. I didn't realize it was in Germany.
Yeah, it's in German.
The company then installed a CCTV camera in the lunch break room. On 2 more occasions, the footage allegedly showed the 56-year-old suspect opening his colleague's lunchbox and sprinkling something on the sandwich during lunch breaks. After seeing the video with the alleged poisoning, the company contacted the police. The suspect, named only as Klaus O., was arrested on May 16th after police searched his apartment and found toxic chemicals such as mercury, quicksilver, lead, and cadmium. You just told me that. 2 days later, we got tests back and found the criminal police laboratory in Dusseldorf, which showed it was lead acetate. Hey, thank you. A poison that could have caused severe organ damage. Yeah, this guy's been killing people possibly for 21 years or 21 different people over a couple of decades.
Amazing.
Didn't they think, well, you know what? This was in a metalworking place. They probably just figured it was, a death a year. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Just like health things from just working around metals in general.
Good God.
It reminds me of those stories.
Go ahead.
It reminds me of those stories of nurses that are transferred from place to place, and they just happen to have a high rate of deaths on their watch, and they're not caught for years and years, and they may have murdered dozens of people.
Yeah. This is why I don't take my lunch. When I used to work, I didn't take my lunch inside. Hell no. Just put that in the refrigerator. Nope.
Yeah, no.
I don't trust people. Either somebody's going to eat it or try to kill me. I know me. People will try to kill me.
Let's see. That's a horror story. How about, that's a bittersweet story. This also comes from Subcon Jazz. I want the story, not the picture. If I click on the link, I want the story, not the picture. Stop doing that. Do I have to pay something? No. Okay. Agents rescue 6-year-old abandoned by smuggler. Tucson, Arizona. Ajo Station Border Patrol agents rescued a 6-year-old Costa Rican boy after he was abandoned on the border road Tuesday evening. Agents discovered the child west of Lukeville, Arizona, and just north of the border in temperatures over 100 degrees. The child told agents he was dropped off by his uncle and that the Border Patrol would pick him up. He added that he was on his way to see his mother in the U.S. The child, who was found in good condition, was transported to Tucson for further processing. The incident highlights the dangers faced by migrants at the hands of smugglers. Children in particular are extremely vulnerable, not only to exploitation, but also to the elements of the environment. So I wonder what happens to that kid now.
He'll go into the system.
Yeah. Dropped off by his uncle, I want to say in quotation marks, but whatever.
Yeah, what they'll do is if they can't find family here, they'll contact the Mexicans and go, "What's up? Where's his family?" Or sorry, Costa Ricans it was, right? I said Mexicans. I went a little stereotypical there. I apologize, guys. I have one from Colleen Bernier, and I'm going to share this one with the chat just so you can see the picture because it's funny.
It's the exact same one I'm going to go after. I was going to do, I'm sure. It's the girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woman trying to evade police falls through store ceiling. Twitter calls it a silent film masterpiece. A 29-year-old woman fell through the ceiling of a convenience store in Alberta, Canada, while she was attempting to evade police. The victim of gravity... Sorry, that made me laugh. The victim of gravity had entered the King Street Ready Mart with a 28-year-old man who was trying to use a stolen credit card. The woman, who learned that what goes up must come down, was arrested without further incident. Her male companion was tasered and arrested. They've been charged with multiple counts, including using a stolen credit card, resisting arrest, assaulting a police officer, attempting to disarm a police officer, and resisting arrest from someone aiding the police officer. While the woman may have been a champion at hide and seek during her early years, it seems she needs to brush up on her technique.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh dear God. Yeah, and there's video footage there, guys. Wow, dumbass. Yeah, for the record, if you see those tiles in the ceiling, that's a false ceiling and you're gonna fall through.
If you want to see a real funny one, it's happened a couple of months ago. I think you just have to search something like robber caught in cell phone store or something like that. There's a guy who like walks into this cell phone store, like this little corner market kind of deal, and he walks right past the 2 or 3 women that are there with like a kid and just starts robbing the place. And so the lady who's running the store, she gets all the people out and then closes the front door behind her. It's one of those barred doors that has an auto lock on it.
Nice.
So he's basically trapped in a store-sized cage until the cops show up. Now there's sound and everything, and as soon as he realizes that he's trapped, oh man, it becomes real funny. So if you can find that video, it's hilarious. It's about maybe 5 or 6 minutes long, but man, he starts begging. It's so good. Anyway, this one comes
real quick. Somebody asked in chat if I'm drunk. They said I sound more giddy than usual. There's a couple of reasons for that. I was in pain all day. My spinal column actually hurt today, and it sucked so bad. And that eased up about an hour before the show started. And then I watched the clip of me killing Satsu about 4 times right before we started, and that put me in a really good mood. Anyhow, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so hanging out with me doesn't put you in a good mood.
Well, it always puts me in a good mood, but he said I was giddy.
No. You didn't say it. That doesn't matter. Never mind. No, I see how it is. Never mind.
If I could blow you up, you would make me happy too.
You want me to be a sex doll?
Something like that. Kapow. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Stargazer Nuts sends us this one. Portland ICE protesters allege that federal agents played Metallica's Threatening Dad Rock at them before arrests. Enter Sandman was blasted toward the campers. They did not appreciate it.
Oh, poor babies.
Threatening Dad Rock? Is that the name of a song, or is that just a category they've given to music?
I'm not sure. How can you not like Enter Sandman?
I know. It's a classic, for God's sakes. Portland protesters say U.S. Department of Homeland Security officers play odd mind games. Protesters camping outside Southwest Portland's Immigration and Customs Enforcement Facility say DHS personnel accosted the camp with high-volume Metallica tunes throughout the night before making several arrests this morning. DHS agents have been trying to arouse and disorient and disrupt protesters over the past few nights. The Occupy ICE release reads, quote, threatening dad rock with lyrics like sleep with one eye open was played at high volume.
Wait, you think that's the threatening line of the song?
Yeah. How about exit light, enter night? I mean, that's more threatening than sleep with one eye open. Anyway, Federal Protective Service spokesman Robert Sperling says the officers were merely having an innocent rooftop dinner. Quote, I know officers were having dinner on the roof last night, he told the news. If music was coming off the top of the building, that might have been what it was. I don't know what was on their
lying bastard.
I know. I don't know what was on their playlist. We wouldn't do something like that. The song the occupiers are referring to is Enter Sandman, a 1991 heavy banger. Who wrote? Is it an Australian newspaper or something? No, Willamette Week. Okay, anyway, it's a local newspaper. A heavy banger. Okay, yes, that's sensible shoe-wearing dads with former long-haired glory days likely jammed out to on the reg.
Oh my God!
Holy shit! Are we really that old?
Before we move on, thank you, Terry Diamanis. Despite the name Enter Sandman is surprisingly ineffective at putting me to sleep. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
because you can't listen to that at low volume. Yeah, well, here's the thing. You and me are that old, but there are still people who jam out to that these days who are teenagers. So fuck off.
Yeah.
It's Metallica. You
Some
fucking
music
fedora
transcends
hair.
time.
Fuck you.
Yeah, some music transcends time. Metallica, Creed's Clearwater Revival, the Everly Brothers. Some things just are always good.
The
always will
person
be good.
who wrote this wears skinny jeans. I'm calling it now.
I would not be surprised. Okay, how about something horrible?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We haven't had something horrible in a while.
This one comes from Massive Dynamics, and this is a story from the Metro UK. Woman jailed for life after beheading Scottish grandmother who invited her in for tea.
Okay.
Sandra Malcolm, 74, was hacked to death by Cherie Prince, who had broken into her Cape Town property. Miss Malcolm, originally from Monifith, Angus, had been helping the young woman after she hurt herself, but Prince turned on her, fearing she would call the police. The 22-year-old said Miss Malcolm gave her tea and toast, but when she offered to call an ambulance, Prince became suspicious and stabbed her 24 times.
Jesus.
Prince beheaded the pensioner with a knife and cut off her arms using an axe before throwing her body in a wheelie bin.
All right.
The fuck is... She admitted the murder in March and has now been given a life sentence by the Western Cape High Court. Under South African law, Prince will have to serve 25 years before she can apply for parole. I wouldn't give that person parole. At 22, she under suspicion that she might call the cops, she slays this woman.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. So rock music is threatening the youth. Yes. They are now the old people.
Always and forever.
I have another fucked up one here. It's not that as bad as that one. This one comes to us from Massive Dynamics. Also from the Metro, woman bit off restaurant owner's ear after complaining about her food.
Oh, well, she was hungry.
Apparently, a woman is alleged to have bitten off a restaurant owner's ear after she complained about the quality of her food. Jade Anderson visited China One restaurant in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Oh my God, I know where that's at. On Thursday night to complain about her takeaway order, police said. According to WXYZ, no, yeah, that's right.
Anderson WXYZ, that's great.
I was just making sure I read that right. Anderson pushed the owner's son, who was translating for his parents because of the language barrier. Police say Anderson, 24, then threw her food on the floor and attacked the female owner before her husband stepped in to help. Anderson is then alleged to have attacked the husband before biting him on the ear and partially detaching it. This made it to the Metro, huh? Cool. The male victim
made it to the Metro. That's not a very high bar to reach, honestly.
I know, but it's nice when you see Michigan somewhere. The male victim was taken to the hospital. Anderson of Mount Clemens was arrested and charged with intent to maim and assault. Authorities say Anderson left a small child at her home unsupervised.
Okay.
I hope they put him in jail together because I don't want to see that mom separated from her child.
Let's see. This next story comes from Three Musketeers. It's easier to throw shine with our new super shareable packaging. Oh, wait, that's an ad.
I was going to say, that sounds kind of like an ad.
Yeah, it is an ad because I get promotional ads when I look for something specific. Thank you, Twitter. The actual story comes from Colleen Bernier. Or I should say, senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent, Colleen Bernier. And this was posted specifically for me, apparently. S&M loving Hollywood executive keeps his job after man dies in his sex dungeon.
Oh, shit. Somebody didn't use the safe word.
Yeah. An exec at top Hollywood agency William Morris Endeavor, okay. Skip Chasey, that's a guy's name, Skip Chasey, is still employed even though a man died in his basement dungeon after being mummified in plastic wrap and gaffer's tape. Now, I've done the saran wrapping before at one point with an ex of mine. Didn't use gaffer's tape, and you don't put it around their head. That's the big important part. The sudden death during recreational mummification bondage, as the Los Angeles coroner described it, happened November 22nd, but was not reported until muckraking podcaster Ebner broke the story last week. Ebner? I don't even know who these people are. The deceased, Doran George, 47, a British-born UCLA professor with his doctorate and a dancer... What? Wait. A British-born UCLA professor with his doctorate and a dancer and avant-garde choreographer. Okay, use some commas there, please. Was found in Chasey's well-equipped dungeon in Los Feliz. According to reports, the LAPD could find no criminal component to George's death. Chasey, 62, who works in television business affairs at WME, is well known as Master Skip in the world of bondage and sadomasochism, and has given over 250 speeches and workshops. So maybe the guy died of like a heart attack or something, like something natural, like that had nothing to do with anything. The co-founder of People of Leather Among You, which is play People of Leather Among You. His motto is, blood may be thicker than water, but leather is thicker than blood. That's a little bit creepy. A spokesman for William Morris told me, quote, while we were unaware of the circumstances surrounding this personal matter until now, we understand that the police file is closed and no charges were brought. If other facts develop, we will reevaluate the situation and determine any appropriate action to take. A source said, quote, they were consenting adults in a 7-month relationship. They had done this before. It's not an abnormal thing in that community. Yeah, so I'm assuming in the course of play or something, the guy had some kind of natural, heart attack or something else that caused him to die, and not that it was inflicted upon him.
Okay, I want to read one more. This one comes from Jack Cochran. Then we'll move along because I do have some deep topics I want to get to, and this one's actually probably going to be a little deep too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jack Cochran. This one is, I no longer have hope in white America.
Oh, who doesn't? Who's lost their hope?
This is Karen Attiah, Attiah. Attiah. I don't know. This is a opinion piece that appeared in the Washington Post.
Ah, yes.
She starts out by telling us, giving us a quote from Martin Luther King that reads, I have reached the regrettable conclusion that I'm not going to do this justice because King's voice was so powerful, but the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block towards freedom is not the white citizen's counselor or the Ku Klux Klanner, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is in the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, Go ahead.
No, sorry. I thought you were done.
Oh, who constantly says, I agree with the goals that you seek, but can't agree with your methods of direct action. Do you want to take a guess what the rest of this article is about?
Oh, I can only guess, but let us also remember King was talking about the nature of things in the fucking 60s.
Yes, but no.
Is it about Black Lives Matter by any chance?
Nope. This one is about civility.
Oh, civility. Right. That thing that's bad now.
All right. Here goes the start of her article. I have reached a regrettable conclusion in the era of Trump. I no longer have hope in white America.
Oh.
After White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders was politely asked to leave a restaurant in Virginia, discussion among the largely white political and media classes erupted into a firestorm over civility in the Trump era. Those of us whose identities have made us the direct targets of Trump administration's hateful rhetoric and discriminatory policies are told not to stoop to the president's level. We are then fed cherry-picked quotes from black luminaries, often the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Or a favorite from Michelle Obama's convention speech, when they go low, we go high. The whitewashed version of a heroic, non-confrontational king ignores the fact that he favored direct action and confrontation and was painted as an extremist in his time. In his time, you stupid shit.
In
and his direct
time,
action wasn't fucking beating people.
it wasn't beating people. It was not threatening them. It was not threatening their families or threatening to stalk them or encouraging people to do anything that was untoward to people. It was about passive resistance, peaceful protest. And in his time, God, you want to, okay, she complains about people spouting out King quotes as though it was something that, what did you just do at the start of your article?
Oh, yeah, and she took his out of, because if you read that whole thing, because this is one of the things that Marina Shut Up and Kat Black both did last year, I think it was, on King's birthday. They used this quote to try to paint King as some horrible person who actually wanted violence. And I made videos debunking that shit because they purposefully took it out of context, just like this cunt does.
I did a video a couple months ago where someone was saying that King would have been right there with Black Lives Matter.
No, he wouldn't.
And I'm like, what? And they went down their points, and I was like, no, you're 180 degrees wrong. I won't go into all the details in the video, but that was just anyway.
Malcolm would have been there. King would
not. Yeah, sure. Malcolm X, yeah, sure. King, no.
Okay. White Americans hated and jailed him, and ultimately it was a white American who murdered him in broad daylight.
Thus all white people are guilty for King's death, huh?
Yeah. As for going high, Trump rose to power in no small part due to his promises to bury the political accomplishments of the first black president.
Also, the failures of Hillary Clinton to be a compelling candidate, but let's not talk about that.
Every president or every person who campaigns for president, when it gets down to the two sides, they bludgeon the other side. No president and no Democrat has ever been elected by going, that Republican we just had was fucking awesome. We're going to do everything he did and more. No, what they do is go, what that asshole did, we're going to fix it. But no, because Obama's black, that's fucking racist. This is the most racist goddamn shit. Seriously, the kind of thing that King was actually talking about there in that thing. The idea that we have to treat Obama differently is fucking racist, you idiots. Ed, how you doing, bud? Nice to see you. I haven't seen you around for a while. Hope work's going well for you. Where are we? It's too easy for those who have privilege, the privilege of never being denied the opportunity to serve in the military because of their gender identity, of never being afraid of police brutality, of never facing anti-Muslim animus, of never being a migrant forcibly separated from his or her children, to lecture us who do not enjoy such privileges to conduct peaceful resistance in a way that doesn't make them uncomfortable. But these demands for civility from the privileged, largely white political class who claim a desire to oppose Trumpism and injustice sounds very much like the stumbling block of white moderates that King wrote about 55 years ago. There's more to this. I can't read it. Look, King faced actual oppression. I mean, this is a man who was jailed repeatedly for shit that nobody would even bat an eye at today. And it was because of the color of his skin and him daring to challenge the white establishment at the time. Nobody's going to jail just for walking down the street anymore. King, you fucking idiots have no concept of history. It's not even that. It's not ancient history, guys. This isn't fucking Mesopotamia that you got to go back and learn weird ass names for. This is the fucking 1960s we're talking about here. The 50s and 60s. It's not that long ago. Pick up a fucking book, you idiots.
Also, the fact that it wasn't that long ago also shows you how quickly things have changed in relative terms. You want to talk about improvements in society or in people's quality of life and justice and everything else. Jesus, you think about the changes that took place between like the 1600s and the 1700s, how long anything worthwhile took. And then you look at just the last 10 years alone. Like I was talking about the other night, it is now passe for someone to come out as gay. Who the hell would have thought that when I was a kid? You know, oh, for fuck's sake.
These are people who think they are genuinely oppressed because they are so spoiled in this society. They have no idea what oppression is, and that's kind of a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because they have no fucking concept and they just can't get it through their fucking heads.
It is, and I'm just guessing here. Is our writer a person of color by any chance?
Yep, she is.
Okay, so how is it that she is allowed to speak her mind in a public forum? How is it that she is employed at a mostly white newspaper owned by a white man? How are these things possible? Oh, wait, that's right, because things have fucking changed since 1963. Are they perfect? No. Will they ever be perfect? No. But they're a hell of a lot better than they used to be. Oh, my God.
Guys, we're going to move on to YouTube time real quick. I didn't do anything today. As I said, I spent most of my day in just horrible pain. So I wasn't even sitting up for most of the day. However, I did go on Numbed Skull's channel. He does a weekly show with Data Wasteland. It is called Numbed Wasteland. I don't have the link right with me. But it is Numbed Skull. So make sure you check that out. We talked for about an hour about politics. And it was a really great conversation all over the place and a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed talking to those guys. And hopefully they'll have me back sometime. Your turn, Scribbles. And then I got one thing of fucketry I know I want to touch on.
Okay. So I am just about done putting together a new video from TEDx. The one that I have been working on. Okay.
I am so sorry to interrupt you. Numbskulls is in chat there. You can click on the. I'm just gonna do it. Go to his channel and pull it up and enter it here. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, I was gonna do a TEDx talk on intersectional feminism, but the audio was really bad. But as luck would have it, as I was sort of giving up on that one, I came across a different one where a lady spends about 10 minutes. Telling us how to effectively and correctly be an activist. And makes a whole bunch of very interesting statements and claims in the course of it. I have a little fun in a couple of spots there. I use my Southern accent in one portion just for the hell of it. So.
Oh, nice.
Anybody who liked that the other night might enjoy that. But otherwise, that is literally, I'm within maybe like 10 minutes of being done putting that together. So it'll definitely be out tomorrow morning sometime.
Okay. There's the link in chat, guys. If you want to check out Numbskull's channel, he does more than just that weekly talk. So make sure you go check that out, subscribe, and make sure you watch us talk because it was a really fun talk. The reason I called this the week of stupid, partially it's for the clickbaity title. Hopefully I'll pick up some people who accidentally typed this week in stupid. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, that was part of it, but the other part of it is this has been just 1 week of shit.
It's been quite a cavalcade of just and not like of one thing and a whole bunch of subordinate things to it. A bunch of individual instances of just the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it was all just nonsense. Monday, I wanted to rant, and there wasn't really anything for me to rant about. I just had a few little things that were, had ate at me on Sunday that I didn't get to talk about. And then Tuesday came, and it's just been shit since. And today should be no different, and it wasn't. And this is how I started my. It wasn't the start of my Twitter day like yesterday's was, but this was really close to the start of my day. This idiot, and I'm not going to say their name because fuck them, said, people of color should realize that bringing their white friends and family into spaces that are inherently non-white spaces often ruins the sanctity of the space, makes the people of color uncomfortable, and isn't overtly challenging because people of color are brushed off as being divisive if they do. Hold on, this goes on for a little while. There's 4 long posts. Just a white person's presence completely changes the climate of all spaces. i.e., student groups, people of color restaurants, intimate home spaces, etc., and makes
People of
people.
color restaurants.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm guessing like a soul food place. Uh,
Right.
and makes people of color watch how they act and what they say because we're never at ease and conditioned to watch ourselves around white people. Many people of color didn't grow up around a lot of and don't form close relationships with white people. So be mindful that just because you really like your white friends or white parents and feel comfortable around white people because of your exposure to them, it doesn't mean other people of color in a space feel the same.
What the fuck?
Oh, hang on. It gets better. It's a pervasive racist belief that white people, especially nice and liberal left ones, are entitled to be in any space, when in reality, no white person, even the good ones, has a right to be in a non-white space. We
Oh,
deserve
there are
our own
good
spaces.
ones?
Yeah, we deserve our own spaces because the whole damn world is white-dominated space.
Okay, who remind me where is this from again? Who wrote this?
This is a Twitter post.
Oh, okay. I thought for a second this was another Washington Post thing. I was like,
No,
what?
this is a Twitter post
Okay.
from an Asian Twitter user.
All right, this is just some random person out in the world. Okay.
Yes, and this thing got like way more attention than it should have, and
Of
I didn't
course.
go through it because frankly I couldn't take the stupid. I don't know how many of the responses were agreeing with it and how many were calling him the racist fuckhead that he is.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. I don't necessarily believe in horseshoe theory,
Okay.
but it is amazing to me how many people on the leftist side. I don't want to say on the left because yeah, there's the regressive radicals
Mm-hmm.
sound exactly like Spencer and his alt-righters.
Well, I
Is it?
just like the first half of that post or whatever in my head, as I do with so many things these days, I just sort of automatically mentally replace black with white. And I think to myself, that sounds like something some white supremacist Ku Klux Klan asshole of the 60s would have said about a black person coming into a white restaurant and dirtying the place up.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Thank you, Snubbers. Even the parents, yes, even parents.
And the parents one really got me. I was like, even if you have white parents, fuck them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
The part that got me, that really set me off, was the quote, non-white spaces,
Right. Yeah, that
and
one. And yeah.
violated the sanctity.
Yeah. The sanctity, like it's blessed by a priest or something. The one that got me was the people of color restaurants. And like, I didn't know that we were segregating restaurants by race again, or if that was a fashionable thing all of a sudden.
It's just something we saw this earlier. Was it yesterday?
It might as well have been the way things are
With
going.
somebody telling him, white and black people can't get along, or in this case, all people of color, because now everybody who's not white is the same.
Right.
The idea that we just don't belong together. That is exactly what the alt-right thinks. It is
Well, that's
literally what
exactly,
they think,
yeah.
that they can't get along with us, so we have to have different places.
Well, I'm just waiting for the speech from one of these guys that says segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what is being advocated for here. Which, again, and I know I shouldn't be surprised or shocked or dismayed by this anymore because it happens all the time. But honestly, the day that I stop becoming dismayed or shocked or disappointed by all of this, I think I'll have lost something of myself.
Oh, while you're talking, we're going to focus this on Satsu. He's sharing fireworks with us. He's
Let's look at
muted,
something
but
happy for a second.
give people something to watch. Yeah, I just saw this and I wanted to bring it up because I know we had the same issue yesterday or the
Yeah.
day. Oh, that's pretty.
Yay.
This shit needs to stop. The whole idea that the races can't get along. Fuck that. It's stupid. It was dumb in the 50s. It's dumb now.
Yeah.
But I did have a couple of deep topics, and we might spread this over a couple of days. But this is pretty much all one subject, different quotes. It's the Dave Rubin had Ben Shapiro Eric Weinstein and Jordan Peterson on the other day, yesterday, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good talk. If you got an hour, I recommend watching it, because these are people who don't necessarily agree. But they get along so well and have such interesting conversations. I would love to, because apparently they like hang out and have dinners together and shit now. I would love to be a fly on the wall in one of those dinners when they're not being recorded.
Right.
Gregory Hurst, thank you. But we boot them from Starbucks and they complain. God damn it. Yeah, fair point. But anyway, they as they were talking, they got onto Jordan Peterson's book and to something that Ben Shapiro says about the basic premise is, in life, you need to fix your own problems.
Right.
And that's an easy thing to say, but we all know that things come up that are not necessarily within your control. And there's a concept they talked about making your copay.
Making your copay.
Yes, and here's what it means. In life, you can't control everything. Of course you can't. But what you can do is take care of the things you can control. Your health, your finances to the best of your ability with, whatever job you have. Getting more training so you can get a better job. Setting yourself up as best as possible for success.
Yes.
And that way, when the problems of life happen, at least you have that much taken care of. At least you have that much under control.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Peterson's got a lot of shit for his book, and for his phrase "clean your room," which is both literal and metaphorical when he says it. And I was hoping Satsu would be here for this, because I know he has a lot of opinions on this, and I'm wondering what your opinion is on the idea of people fixing their own damn problems.
Well, what's that old phrase that my mother used to say? God grant me the wisdom to know to understand the things that I can change and those that I can't, kind of thing.
Sure.
I'm obviously screwing that up royally, but
it's the Serenity Prayer.
Yeah. Okay. Taking personal responsibility for your life insofar as you're able to. Yeah. No, it's not an alien concept to me. It's something that I think, is everyone's personal responsibility. Life is not going to hand you all the answers, and the people who do get handed all the answers don't know how to fucking solve a problem half the time. So, yeah, and it's along the same lines of the advice I give anybody about dating. It's like, always make sure that you want a relationship, not that you need a relationship. Be able to stand on your own 2 feet, financially, emotionally, and otherwise, so that you're not relying on anybody else to have to take care of you. That is just the simple rules for success in life. I don't understand why that's such a radical or alien concept.
Well, that's part of what fascinates me about this topic, because it is considered controversial to tell people that, and part of it is that response you get back of, well, you can't control everything. You might lose your job. Yeah, you might lose your job, but if you saved money, that's not going to necessarily guarantee you security, but you're going to be a lot better off than if you spent every dime you made while you were employed.
Well, there's a book I think everybody should read. Not necessarily own, you can find it at the library or whatever, but there's a book everybody should read at least once. And it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And it has all these very simple rules for gaining and creating and growing wealth. And one of the key rules in there, and the one that has stuck with me the most over everything else, is do not buy what you cannot afford. Credit cards, student debt, a whole bunch of things. If you can avoid going into debt on anything, even as small as a credit card or whatever, do that. Live within your means, save your money. When I first got out of college, just to sound like an old man for a second, when I first got out of college, I had a little help from my folks. They basically put the first month's down payment on my apartment, or the first and last, kind of thing as they do. And then I was basically set out on my own. I had to get a real job. And I had, just a tiny amount of money in my bank account, like nothing. And so for the first year of living on my own in my apartment after I got out of college, I did nothing but work and come home. I mean, it was a pretty sad existence, but I saved my money. And over time, I built up enough of a cushion that just kept building upon itself. And I also learned and gained the habits and the skills of knowing when to spend money and when not to, and when I needed something versus wanted something, and so on. And at this point, years and years later, I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. But if I lost my job tomorrow, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd have some time to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's also going on the same basis of, well, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You're right. So you plan as though something might happen tomorrow. You plan as though you're making sure you've got something set up to fall back on, and that you're not living paycheck to paycheck or something. And that same rule applies to your emotional well-being or your social well-being or anything else. Just stop for a second and say, what do I need to have? How can I make sure that I can get it and that I can maintain it? Because if I start putting my faith in other people, and I know this is kind of a antisocial way of thinking, but it's pragmatic. If I start putting my faith in other people, they become the foundation that could be pulled out from under me if something goes sour in the relationship, Anyway.
Real quick, thank you, Satsu, for sharing the fireworks with us. That was really cool.
Thank you.
You actually are a good example of only getting what you need. And here's what I mean by that. For those of you who don't know, we've mentioned this many times on the show. Scribe doesn't have a smartphone. Scribe has a phone, or at least you did.
Yes. No, I have a phony phone. I have a dumb phone.
Yeah. And not everybody needs a smartphone, but you see everyone with it. Even people who are broke all the time and bitch about being broke all the time have smartphones. And even your best plan is not as cheap as just a regular phone, like an old style flip phone, something, a dumb phone, as you called it.
Dumb phone, yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this because it is just a something I want to remind people that you do control part of your life, and that's the part you should check out. There's also something that was shared on Twitter today. What the hell was that? Let me find it. It's a mentalist.
Okay.
You know what a mentalist is, but he makes he doesn't pretend that he's actually got superpowers.
Right.
And there's a show on Netflix by him, and I'm going to put it in the chat.
Is it Darren Brown?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I've seen. Yeah, he's that guy. He's a very talented entertainer. I'll just say that he's very, very talented.
Well, watching his today, I watched this today. Oh, and it's probably too long, isn't it?
Could be.
Yeah, it's not going to let me. So yeah, look up Darren Brown's Miracle. It is an excellent show, and there's a part in there where he duplicates faith healing.
Yes. He's ultimately a debunker. He's educating people on like con games and things like that, and also sort of like magic trick type stuff too. Yeah,
he is. But when he does this, I mean, he tells people, look, he goes through, guys, for those of you who don't know, and he does a faith healing, and there's people in the audience who actually feel better, and there's a very your mind is more powerful than you think it is. And that's basically what faith healing is. It's you can cure minor ailments with just your mind. I'm not talking about like you got appendicitis. I'm talking about you have back pain. And the best example I ever heard of this was Howard Stern, actually. Howard Stern used to have incredibly horrible lower back pain. And he went to all kinds of doctors who told him he had slipped discs and he needed traction and blah, 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 the whole normal shit that they tell you. And he finally ran into a doctor who told him, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. Mm-hmm. And Howard's like, no, that's bullshit. I've had a bad back for years. I've got slipped discs. There's x-rays of it and shit. And the guy's like, no, your back is just like anything else in your body. And if you say pull a muscle in your leg, it's going to hurt you maybe 2 weeks. And then it'll be fine, and you won't even remember it happened. But when it comes to backs, for some reason, we are babies about our backs. And Howard tells the story about how one day he's just sitting there and he's thinking about his back and how it always hurts him, and he just started laughing about it. And he told it he out loud told his back pain to fuck off. and he didn't have back pain. I don't know if he does now, but at least when he wrote his books, he hadn't had back pain anymore. And it's because we can trick ourselves. Our minds are so much more powerful than we give them credit for when they come to our own bodies. But the reason I'm on this is because Darren, he talks in there about taking care of yourself, taking care of what you can take care of. And I highly recommend watching it, guys. It's watch it with an open mind, not the open mind where you actually think he's faith healing people, but with what's actually happening in front of your eyes. Because it's interesting. Go ahead.
So I'll try to make this short. I know there's probably not a short way to do it. I have a friend who has, let's just say, mental issues. Okay. And she often would become disorganized, and she would, I'd be called at like 3 a.m. with someone who was very distraught and just practically incoherent. And I figured out a method to help her. I would get her to, breathe, because 9 times out of 10 she was incoherent. And I would say, okay, what is overwhelming you right now? What is it? And she'd list off, let's say, 6 things in a quick succession. And as she went over each one, I'd ask myself, sort of silently to myself, is that something that she or anyone else could actually do anything about right now? If the answer was no, I ignored it. And when she was done listing off her list, I said, okay, we can't do anything about the fact that your family member passed away. We can't do anything about the fact that this, that, and the other thing. But tomorrow, if you make this phone call and you do this, this will be off your plate. And then if tomorrow you do this and this one will be less of a problem than it is right now. And really what it is that if you feel overwhelmed, it really is just a matter of stopping, assessing what's going on, and being realistic, even if it's not fun, about what you can do, what you can't, and how much you can get done as quickly as you can get done to alleviate the pressure and the stress, because all of us get overwhelmed and all of us are susceptible to being overtaken by events and feel like there's nothing we can do. There's always something you can do about something. It might not solve all your problems, but bit by bit, day by day, it'll get easier if you just focus and take a deep breath and assess. There's my advice.
Here's the final thing they talked about that I'm going to put you on the spot, and I've tried thinking about this, and we're going to see if I can answer it.
Okay.
What is your blind spot in life? What is your blind spot?
My blind spot is love.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
After a fashion, I suppose, in the sense that in the past, whether it's romantic or friendship.
Hang on, we have an intermittent Negro here. Okay, we got some fireworks back, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scribe.
Yeah, well, whether it's romantic love or just really good friendship or something, if I have given my trust to someone, my friendship, my whatever, my loyalty, however you want to put it, I have a very difficult time not just giving that person the benefit of the doubt unquestioningly, and so ultimately, if someone that I've done this to starts showing signs that something's off, I don't see it because I'm assuming the best because I feel strongly for them, and I assume it's being reciprocated, and the same kind of respect that I'm giving is what I would be getting. But more often than not, unfortunately, my benefit of the doubt has been taken advantage of or just been completely misplaced. And I've gotten very burned. And now my phone is ringing, so I'm going to have to go away for a second.
Okay, fair enough. We lost Satsu, so fireworks are over.
Yeah, 1 second.
Sure. Go ahead and take your call. Mine is, I think, probably similar for many men. Mine is women and children. I can be very, I don't want to say white knightish, but white knightish. I believe men are out there to protect women and children, and sometimes that can make me react when I shouldn't. But while he's gone, guys, we are going to be starting the question and answer portion of this show. in a few moments. And so if you want to start throwing questions in there now, make sure you put a question mark at the end of it, and we'll do our best to answer them. And yes, thank you, Satsu, so much for the light show tonight. I do love fireworks. God, I can't wait for fireworks. I love watching stuff blow up in the sky. Although when I was little, I was very afraid of fireworks, and I still have a bit of a fear of them. I remember going to SeaWorld and watching a beautiful light show, but I always felt like the parts were going to fall and burn me, and I've never been able to get over that. And then, yeah, the time I caused a riot, it was because some jackass actually was burning people with fireworks and almost burned my child. And when that happened, I warned him if another one went into the crowd, I was going to kick his ass. Another one went into the crowd, and I kicked his ass. Unfortunately, he had 5 friends that, oops, I didn't see, and I got my ass kicked a little bit too. All right, you back there, Scribbles?
Yeah, sorry about that. That was my my folks. They forgot that I do a show at this time of day. So,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they asked me something, so I'm going to call them back after the show. So there you go.
I wonder if Satsu's having flashbacks from last night.
Oh, what happened last night?
I blew him up.
Oh, that's right.
And he's now at a fireworks show.
Oh.
I gave Satsu PTSD. Actually, this is great. This is the last part before we actually turn over to questions, guys. During that, I deserve retribution. It's a man thing. I killed him. Something has to happen to me.
It's a man thing, you sexist bastard.
It is a man thing. Women would cry. Men are like, I'm going to get you back, motherfucker.
I'm going to get you, sucker.
I spent the rest of the evening, which this happened pretty early on, so more than an hour, just worried Satsu was going to fuck with me. He didn't do anything. He just let me fucking stew, the bastard. So yeah, if you guys go watch the full stream, you get to hear me freaking out. Like, just do something already, god damn it. And with that, we are going to turn it over to chat, guys. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat there. Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard my answer to that, Scribe. I said women and children are my blind spot to the point where I probably take their side at times when I shouldn't. I can't even watch that video, and I know it's going all over about the little girl who got ran over.
Right.
I know it enrages me, and Boral asked, chivalrous, kind of. It's to the point that I will take their side when I shouldn't, or before I've heard the story, and that's a bad thing.
It's your patriarchal nature, monkey.
It is, and all joking aside, it is. It's my desire to protect people, and I just don't feel men need protected the way women and children do. And I know, go ahead and call me sexist. I don't give a fuck. Even in my crippled state, I could protect my wife if I need to. Dax asks if I'm ticklish. Yes, I am. Don't do it. I'll punch you. Blow up the sky. You want nukes? I'm not sure what that means. Mash said, did you see on Twitter how some people were arguing that civility is actual political correctness? Oh, yes, I did. I responded to that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I've been waiting for that argument because I've heard political correctness described as civility before this all broke.
Mm-hmm.
Political correctness is not civil. It's censorship, and it's trying to shame people into acting. It's fucking religion.
It's behavior control.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Behavior control.
Yeah, exactly.
Or attempts thereof.
And it's moronic. Where civility, me and Satsu can tell jokes to each other that are not appropriate, and we're still being civil to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, baby. I love you.
I love you too. Oh, no, not me.
But yeah, political correctness was never about civility. It was it's a attempt to control behavior. Let's see. Ranting Monkey, have you heard about the "Why Can't We Hate Men" professor getting a Title IX on her? Oh, I didn't, but that's funny.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, hard for her to argue that she's treating everybody the same. Jenna P says, I know I was trying to explain it to Kyle. I thought someone else explaining it would help because I wasn't explaining it well. Are we talking about Malcolm X? Somebody was asking me, Ed had mentioned that Malcolm X had mellowed a bit before he died. There was a time when Malcolm was very militant, and by the time he died, he was less so.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got going on here? Sorry, guys. The chat keeps jumping on me. I'm trying to go in order. You do know that because you feel that way ranting, Satsu will absolutely do nothing to you. No, see, no. He's going to wait till I let my guard down. And then he'll get me. Chaos Eve says, would you punch me if I tickled you? Yeah, but it wouldn't be on purpose. I got, okay, because I am very ticklish. People do this to kids, and it's why I refuse not to. When I was little, they would tickle me to the point I couldn't breathe anymore.
I can't breathe.
No, I like literally couldn't breathe, and it would take me a while to catch my breath.
Okay.
So, like, if I'm tickling Grand Monkey, it is quick. I get in, tickle, and get right back out. And if I see somebody tickling her for a long time, like, stop, don't do that, because it made me hate it.
Yeah, give her a complex. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. It's the same thing because I have a baby face, and so I have my big chunky cheeks. And when I was little, my relatives would pinch my cheeks, and it hurt. So I don't like my face being touched. Yeah, be careful when you do that shit to kids. Everything in moderation, guys. Ryder asks why he's still here. Because we're wonderful, and you want to enjoy us.
That's right.
Did you see the bullshit that Joy Behar pulled in the opening segment of The View? No.
Is it a day that ends in Y?
James, you're gonna have to be a little more specific there. I haven't seen it, but I would if it's popping up in chat, I would be interested to see. Ebony Williams says, at Scribe Light, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, but completely in a platonic, like non-emotional way.
Dax says, Scribe, do you think prostitution should be legalized?
Legalized, taxed, and regulated. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand why it's illegal. I just don't. Other than our puritanical roots, it makes no sense. You can sell your time in any other way. Just don't sell that. What was it? Cavernous pussy.
Oh God.
Did you see that even Roaming responded to those about civility and political correctness? Yeah, actually, her responding is what brought it to my attention and made me respond. Is there a porn star called Malcolm XXX? I hope so.
Probably.
Terry, that's what Google's there for. You tell me. Adindra says he was trying to reach out to MLK talking about Malcolm. So I think he'd have ended up reforming. I don't know if he would have reformed as much as King was, but I think he'd have calmed down a lot if he'd lived. Mm-hmm. How far, I don't know. He was a black Muslim, so. Let's see. Holy shit. We got a lot of good stuff here, guys, and it keeps jumping. I am so sorry. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Don't bring that. I know. He's going to fuck with me. I know. Satsu says, I tried to get the finale, but I was a little too late. Hangout wouldn't start. That's all right, man. We appreciate what you did. There was a lot of good explosions in there. Thank you for that.
Explosions.
He's going to pay someone to replace your spine with something better than spaghetti. That would be nice. You know, even my daughter today, her boyfriend was over and me and him haven't talked in a long time. He's been very busy working. And he asked me, so have you fallen down the stairs? He was there the first time I fell down the stairs. And he goes, you've done it, what, 2 or 3 times? I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm at like 15 or 16 now. My daughter goes, what does it take to get a chair on those stairs for you? Like, calm down, sweetie. I'll be okay. Boral says, what did someone do to your butt then? I've told this many times. I was spanked a lot as a child. A lot.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah, don't feel bad for me. I deserved it.
Don't
all but
cry
one.
For me, Argentina.
All but one. That's the one. God damn it. Why is the chat jumping so much tonight? Ah, you bastards. Oh, it's because you guys are talkative, which is a good thing. Never mind. Keep doing it. Captain Bramble says, hi, Monkey. Hi, Scribe. Finally out of work. Clay, I hope it's your weekend. Mash says, how would you react to Lady Monkey and I taking turns smacking you in the rear with a wooden paddle? Okay. Seriously? Don't like my ass touched. Scribbles, how would you feel getting spanked? Are you a spank E?
No, I don't particularly enjoy it. I'm not like phobic to it like you are necessarily, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Harbos Marbo says Steam sale just got the Sims 3 expansion pack, season, pets, university life. Any tips? I've never played pets or university life. With seasons, just pay attention to the season. There's a lot of fun stuff to do to keep your sim entertained. And damn it, I don't have. I wonder if they have it on sale on Origin, because that's where I have mine through.
Origin. Ugh.
Origin should be kicking Steam's ass, and
really,
it should be.
I never found any real good reason to like Origin.
Exactly, but that's why I said should be, because this is EA, who has a bigger library than them.
Oh well, in that sense, yes. But as far as like, yeah, they don't know how to get their act together.
They don't.
They just partner up with Steam and just not. I mean, honestly, at this point, why not just take a cut of free money effectively by having Steam do all the work of distributing your shit for you?
Mm-hmm.
And maintaining Origin is probably far more expensive than it would be to just license out distribution of certain games to Steam.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do I know?
Well, they do it anyway. I mean, like they've slowly started moving games over there, because like you can get the Mass Effect series over there now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe they're learning their lesson.
They just need to transfer everything over there, so I can just use my codes on Steam and be able to buy their shit on Steam. Mm-hmm. Tom Leach asks, why aren't atheists and feminists more upset about the idea of prostitution being illegal? Don't they want more women leading businesses? Sorry, women-led businesses. I read that wrong. For some feminists, the idea of women selling their bodies is demeaning. So I kind of get that one. I do. I still don't think it's any of their fucking business, but I understand why that's an argument.
Also, if it's the woman's choice, isn't that what the whole idea is about? Is that, the woman has the choice to make her own decisions for her body and herself and everything?
You would think so.
I mean, it's not like you're being run by a pimp, but instead you are making the choice to do it yourself. So anyway.
Yeah, but see, they also, anytime you bring it up with them, they'll tell you mostly about illegal prostitution, specifically the slave trade. And like,
right,
if you make it legal and regulate it, that tends to go away. You don't have as many bootleggers today. You know why? Because you can buy alcohol again. Making stuff illegal gives you a black market for it and leads to all kinds of nasty shit. So as for the atheists, a lot of people they're while religious people can point to, a belief in God for why they don't want prostitution, there's a lot of people who just look at the practice as immoral, even though they don't necessarily believe in a God. Right. Or they look at it as dirty. It's Scott Gardner says, fun fact, prostitution is legal so long as you film it and veil it and call it porn. Yeah.
That is also true.
Same basic thing. Kitty says, Monkey, you're still a bad boy. I am, but nobody's man enough to spank me now. Jesus Christ, you guys. These guys are active tonight. This is awesome. You guys are making this fun. Scribe, do you think they could ever get away with another good Star Trek series that takes place after Nemesis, disregarding horrible Discovery?
Sure, they could. Anything's possible because you're making it all up. The question is, like, how much weight do they give the events of the movies to affect whatever the storyline is they come up with for that kind of show? I'm not quite sure why Paramount is looking constantly to the past or to completely separate their shows from established canon. I mean, Voyager was like, let's not even deal with what's going on in the other shows. Let's literally take our people away from it all. Enterprise went back in the past to try to explain like some kind of origin story. And now Discovery is even further back in the past. Well, I guess after Enterprise, but before the original series. It's just, it's so ridiculous. They don't know what they're doing with their property. And it's not to say that you couldn't have a good show that predates original series stuff, but honestly, I wouldn't. Just keep. Star Trek was about the future. You know, looking forward and stuff. Enterprise was where I think there was their first huge mistake in trying to make a series. Is like, no. We don't need to know the story of what we don't care to know. It doesn't matter. Take us into the future. Have us explore new worlds. What?
If you guys can hear that, I'm sorry. There's somebody outside lighting off fireworks.
What? Fireworks again?
That's some big ones going on.
Anyway.
I think they made some serious mistakes in Next Generation towards the end. Yeah. I didn't watch as much DS9 to know where any mistakes were made there. Voyager was just Voyager could have been a great idea.
Yeah.
But they hurt themselves too much with it.
There were some individual episodes and story arcs of Voyager that weren't that bad, but yeah, the series overall was completely unnecessary and not at all inspiring. Next Generation, it was at its best at about middle of its run, and then it started to lose steam, I guess, after a fashion. And DS9 really didn't pick up until about season 3. I mean, it was worth the wait if you got through the first 2 seasons. I mean, they weren't awful, but they were just a little clunky. But after it started picking up in season 3, it really took off. I think, late game DS9 and middle Next Gen are probably the best Star Trek of, let's say, the modern era, so to speak.
Sure. And I think they could pick up after either of those. And they don't even have to go that far in the future like they did from Star Trek to TNG. You could pick up almost immediately and still tell good stories.
Yeah, there's a whole there's a whole fleet of ships out there in the Federation. Yeah. There's a whole zillions of planets. I mean, Star Trek isn't about like one specific continuity. It's about a kind of ethos, you know, a kind of setting to the characters and things and the moral dilemmas and stuff like that. And yeah, they could set one up that takes place the day after Nemesis, just somewhere else in the galaxy, and they refer to it in passing and then move on with their lives. It would be fine.
Jenna asked Scribe to use a different name in chat because it's odd. His name in chat is Scribe Light.
Yeah, my name is Scribe Light. Well, I don't go in chat that often when I'm on the show. Honestly, I figure if I have anything to say, I'm going to say it out loud, or if I respond to somebody in chat, I'll be talking about it in the stream. But yeah, no, I don't have any ghost accounts or lurker accounts or anything.
Nuts asks, is tonight open server, Ranting Monkey? Yeah, we'll be playing on the Arc server, so that's open server. Anybody who wants to come in can join us. The information is in the Discord somewhere. And that'll be over on 2 cents plus. Don't forget to join us after the show. Satsu said he's on his way home, so we should be good to go tonight. David Devon says, if prostitution was legalized, feminism would collapse once women realized how much power they actually had. Feminists know this. That's why they are against it. I think women know how much power they have. Yeah. It's just I don't necessarily think, excuse me, they're blind to that. I do think feminism. What's that?
You fading out on us?
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to stifle that yawn and it came out anyway. Feminist tries to make women believe that they're victims. I think most women know better. But you do have the whole SJW thing, which is teaching everybody they're victims, unless you're a white man. James Colley, thank you. I'm going to DM it to you, Monkey. Cool, thank you. I'll check it out. Oh, God, this keeps jumping. God damn it. I don't understand. I don't understand why it jumps. I'm controlling my chat. Let me control it.
Yeah.
Voyager found the cure for the Borg.
Oh yeah. I hate things where they cure a good character arc or something, you know, or whatever.
It's actually one of the things I hate that Next Generation did, because Next Generation is the first one who captured a Borg, and they accidentally screwed up the Borg. They accidentally put the idea of individuality into, which is actually a cool idea.
Hugh, I remember Hugh.
Yeah. It's a really cool idea, but from there they just kind of fucked it all up. They made the Borg suck, and the Borg were supposed to be this menace. And yeah,
well, that's the thing. You have to, when you find or come up with a really intriguing villain or plot element or something, you need to use it sparingly. You don't want to oversaturate, because you're always going to have to come up with a new reason as to why they're there, and eventually you're going to have to find a way to solve it because there's nothing else to do with it, which is, you know, yeah, self-defeating.
James says, I sent it, Monkey. Thank you so much for the donation and for sending it. I will check it out. I'm assuming it's a video, so I have to check it out after the show here. Let's see. Someone had the name that involved Scribe's life. Oh.
Scribe's life. Okay. Well, yeah, I've had at least one person make a complete dummy YouTube account using my image, and it was called Scribe Right or something, and they started posting nasty messages to some of my commenters. Yeah, and fortunately, it was obvious it wasn't me, because like somebody would say something, I really like your video, and be like, "You suck your own dick" or something, and the guy would be like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry, I just thought I liked your video," and like, "Oh wait, that's not you." I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm glad you saw that, because I would never say that to somebody."
I apologize. I missed where this question is. I'm trying to find it. Somebody asked us if we would accept bionic arms, basically.
Bionic only if I needed it. I hope not to.
So you wouldn't like augment yourself if you could, if you didn't need it?
Oh, by like as a choice, not as a necessity?
Yeah.
Cut off my arm so I could have a robot one that could fail? No.
Trust me, your regular ones can fail too.
Well, no, I understand that, but until I need it, why would I now? I mean, they look cool. I've seen people with like the really most recent bionic arms or like prosthetics and everything, and they look like somebody out of a sci-fi movie, and like, wow, that's really cool looking. But I wouldn't want to have it unless I absolutely needed it, because why bother?
Thank you, Stargazer Nuts. Nuts just put the information for the Discords and 2 Cents Plus, so you guys can watch us after this. For the record, guys, it is not immediately after. It's about 10 to 15 minutes after, and that's just because we got to get everything set up. Okay. Data had said, Faith is Abdication. I guarantee you would love Star Trek Continues. That's the one you've told me about, right, Scribe?
Yeah, it's basically a fan production that continues on with the original series. And yeah, the actors obviously aren't the original actors and everything, but the methods they use to process the footage and the sets and the costumes, everything, it is so down to the minutest detail that you'd be hard pressed to think it wasn't filmed in the 60s. It was like a sequel series or something. It's really well done.
Bro, I'm sorry. I know I told you yesterday I was going to just call you 13 because I'm not sure how to say your name. 13 says, I wish they would tell stories about people who weren't part of Starfleet that I would watch. I don't know if I would, because to me, that's the exciting part of it. And if it's just, like a family on Earth or something like that, I don't know that I would be entertained. I'm so sorry. Kingslayer Damocles says, the episode where Picard is defending Data is my favorite episode. I would be hard pressed to pick a favorite episode of TNG. I love the Moriarty one where they're on the holodeck. The first Moriarty one, I think, or maybe it's the second one, where Moriarty becomes a sentient, but he's not really.
Yeah, well, it's like was it Geordie or somebody says, make an opponent that could beat Data in a Sherlock Holmes game or whatever.
Yeah, but not that one, because that one I do like. But there's one where Picard thinks he's leaving the holodeck.
Yes.
But doesn't.
Oh, because Moriarty's created a whole holodeck version of the Enterprise, and then just lets him think it was a chip in a bottle. I think maybe that was it.
Yeah, I think that's the one, and it's a really neat one because by the time you realize what's going on, like, oh, cool, that was
yeah,
neat.
right.
Um,
I like you know what I like Lieutenant Barkley.
oh yeah, Barkley was cool.
The first one at least, the first where he's introduced. I like that one. I kind of like the one where he goes all Brainiac. That was all right, but the first one where he's there is actually kind of neat because I like Dwight Schultz and I loved 18. Mm-hmm. So
I like in season 1 the one where everybody on the ship goes a little nuts and Tasha Yar fucks Data.
Oh yeah, Data has sex because I am fully functional.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh god.
Let's see what's going on here in chat, guys. Sorry. What would you rather be able to manipulate? Earth, water, fire, or air? Water. It's the most powerful of all of those.
Yeah, because if you manipulate water, you can make people explode.
Either Ghastly or AP are in here from. Oh, one of them's in here. Hey guys, all hail Blue Whale, dude.
What now?
Ghastly or AP, the Gulf City streaming guys. They're great. They're funny as shit. They're okay individually, but together those guys are just fucking amazing.
Oh, like the Wonder Twins.
Yes. But the Profane Wonder Twins, they are fucking awesome.
Profane Wonder Twins. That's
if you've never watched AP and Ghastly together, you guys are missing out. Oh, he says it's AP. Hey, nice to see you, bud. Yeah, seriously, guys, they are funny as fuck together. And like I said, they're not bad individually, but together, man, they I don't know how they do it. They go nonstop, like two fucking profane machine guns that will just make you laugh your ass off. Cryptic, thank you. You forgot Heart, Captain Planet. That's
Mati. My God.
Cryptic,
Heart.
I'm gonna pull a Satsu. Go sit in a corner. Don't bring up Captain Planet on my damn hippie. Let's see what else.
See the Captain Planet Don Cheadle parody?
No.
Oh, there's Funny or Die years ago did this Captain Planet parody where Don Cheadle's playing Captain Planet, and he goes completely bonkers. it's fucking hilarious. I'll send you a link.
Scribe, what would you think if they did a remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Riley Dennis as Willy Wonka?
Well, they are making a remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Riley Dennis as well, Willy Wonka. I always thought that Marilyn Manson should be Willy Wonka.
That could be interesting in a creepy kind of way.
He did a music video where basically he was Willy Wonka for the sake of the music video. And I always thought, if they had to redo it, if Tim Burton really wanted to do it, he should have gotten Marilyn Manson, not Johnny Depp, but whatever.
Let's see. Do you guys remember the episode where Data had split personality from an ancient civilization running amok in his head?
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
That was like season 7, and it was basically like Brent Spiner wants to use all the different voices and personalities he can come up with just for fun. So let's give him a whole show where he does nothing but do strange voices and try to do different characterizations. And it was, on that level, it was kind of entertaining. As a Star Trek episode, it was just bonkers silly.
Ebony wants to know Marvel or DC. Marvel.
Well, okay, it depends on the medium. Marvel for movies, DC's got TV really well done, except for Black Lightning. So far hasn't been that great. But animation.
On Twitter today, Marvel released a 1-minute clip from the new Cloak and Dagger.
Now, see, I haven't watched that yet. I want to wait until I can binge it at some point, because I don't have access to it because it's on that streaming service that I'm not going to pay for.
I will watch the first episode because I'm a Cloak and Dagger fan, but what I saw in that clip pissed me off.
The only thing that I know of that they significantly changed was just that Tyrone in this iteration is the well-off kid, whereas Tandy is the sort of blue-collar one. For whatever reason they did that.
Did you watch the clip?
I've watched several clips. You'd have to be more specific.
The one they released today, the one where they're talking about privilege.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that. I can only imagine now.
They're basically arguing over which one of them has privilege.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was my take too. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
All right.
And somebody on Twitter, like, they can't all have stories where their parents die. I'm like, these aren't new characters. They have a fucking origin already.
Yeah.
You can modernize it without bringing. Oh, god damn! I fucking hate people. Anyway, Monkey, what has been going on with Ark? So I can do the soap opera-esque ad for Discord. We haven't really been together on Ark since last week, so I don't know. There's your ad. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Backscan wants to know if either of us have watched Doctor Who.
I was one of those late bloomers who started with the revamp season 9 and then 10. So I did the Christopher Eccleston season. I did both of the David Tennant seasons. I watched the first episode of the Matt Smith thing, and I thought I don't even like this guy, so I stopped watching. My friends got me to start watching it again briefly when what's his name, the guy who just played before the Lady Doctor took over. And I got through about 2 episodes. That I thought, eh. So the David Tennant seasons were great because Tennant was just a great actor. It was really fun watching him. But after that, I just didn't give a shit.
I don't really care for it. I've watched a couple of episodes and it's too British for me.
Too British for me.
Too British. Let's see. Thank you, James Colley. He says, fuck that. Now I'm boycotting it. I still want to give it a try because just because they fucked up a little bit at the beginning doesn't mean the whole thing's going to suck. Monkey, does your Ark have all the expansions? Yes, it does. I have the season pass. So when the new one comes out, I'll have that too. I got it on sale, which I believe it is on sale. Don't forget, guys, if you like video games and you computer game, the Steam sale is still going on. I get nothing for promoting them other than letting you guys know there's great games on there. There really is. We talked last night about the Vampire the Masquerade games. Ark is on there on sale. 7 Days to Die is on there on sale. So many great games. Let's see, the Tomb Raider franchise, the Star Wars games, everything. Check it out if you are a computer gamer and haven't done so yet. Ebony says, give me motivation to lose weight. I really need it. You will feel better. You will
live longer,
healthier,
look better.
Yeah. The real thing is, why do you want to lose weight? How much weight do you need to lose? And here's the thing with exercise. People hate exercise. The more you do it, the easier it is, and it can become addicting, actually. And that's a good addiction to have.
Within moderation. I've known people who've gone like crazy, like down to the point where they get like anorexic because they feel they have to work out like every 2 hours or something. So,
Backscan. Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
Backscan says, by the way, I bought Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Still haven't played it much, though. The beginning of the game is kind of slow, but stay with it. It's such a good game.
Yeah, the voice acting and the story carry it. It is dated. It's not going to look that great, and the controls are, it's like a Diablo combat kind of deal. But all the same, it grew on me over time, and it was one of the few games where it had a function built into it that you could play your own independent role-playing games where one person was the storyteller, control all the aspects of the world and objects and things, and everybody else could play players. I actually did play a few ongoing RPGs through Redemption because you could hook up to people on a server and, yeah, play a game live. It was actually kind of weird, and I've never seen anything like it since.
Ebony says, technically, I'm morbidly obese, not Tess Holiday size, but still bad. I was there once. I was almost 300 pounds. My topped out at 285. I don't know about giving you motivation, but the way I did it, honestly, was cutting back on eating. And I didn't stop eating. I didn't change what I ate. I just ate less of everything that I did eat. The only thing I absolutely cut out was my giant bowl of cereal before dinner or before bed.
Yeah, it's got to be a conscious effort, and kind of like what we were talking about earlier, it is something that you are in complete control of. You control what you put in your mouth, so you have to make the choice and make the effort. And if you get to the point where you have something in your hand, don't want to get paranoid about it, but stop and ask yourself, do I need to eat this? Am I actually hungry? If the answer to either of those things is no, put it down. Move on.
And finally, Ryan Rawlings says, tonight on All My Dinos, Monkey and Satsu awake from a multi-day coma after partying too hard. What sort of debauchery do they find going on with their base? Although we have two separate bases, but we'll find out. Here we go, guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. It is always a pleasure talking to you guys, and you guys were so involved tonight. It's awesome. Thank you for the super chat, you guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Scribe, a pleasure as always. And Satsu, we'll see you next time, bud. Thanks for the fireworks. Everyone, your life makes us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.